here with Nellie Foster and Absolute Allergy Relief. And we're going to have Nellie do a demonstration and an explanation of what her process is and what it's all about.
Thank you very much. What we're doing today is we are using a program, a computer program, combined with traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture points in order to identify and treat allergies and sensitivities. We have isolated 33,000 different digital signals of those allergies, and we're going to transmit them with this little cuff that we're going to put on Lena's arm. There we go.
So this is Lena.
Okay, Lena. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some muscle testing, and I probably should use this arm. Perfect. Now Lena, when I tell you to resist, I want you to not let me push down on your arm, okay? Ready? And hold. Okay, she's very strong. You can see that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my computer here. Here we go. Okay, Lena, ready? Now hold. Okay, so Lena couldn't hold her arm up because her nervous system was focusing on a digital signal that I sent to her that's of a toxin. Okay, so everybody's going to react differently to that. So her body's reacting to that signal and can't focus on holding up her arm. So that we will do the same thing with foods and different stimuli with her. So for instance,
well, can you tell us something? When her arm is strong, what does it mean? And when her arm is weak, what does it mean? Based on what you're presenting.
When her arm is strong, it means whatever signal it's receiving, it's positive, it's good. It doesn't need to have any kind of an immune response to it. Okay, if it's weak, then it means that her nervous system is saying, I need to do something to defend my body against this. It's something that's foreign or undesirable. So let's just, do you know if you have any allergies, Lena?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Which ones do you think you have?
I do. I'm aware of my mold, mildew, dust, and cat dander. That's what I'm aware of.
Okay, great. Well, let's send this signal. I'm going to send a signal. Ready? And hold. Okay, that one was strong, and that's her own internal response to the allergies. So she's good with that, so she can handle it if we fix her nervous system.
So we're looking at a computer here that she's playing with.
Okay, Lena, we're going to send over a new signal. Here we go. Ready? And hold. And that was the dust. So let's just quickly show you how we would treat that dust allergy. Okay, this is the fun part, because usually when you talk about a treatment, you talk about something that's painful or uncomfortable, but what she gets is a nice back rub. It's an acrobat act. Okay, so what we're going to do is go along her spinal column and give her a back rub. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in and hold it. Oh, great. Now I want you to exhale. Now take little puppy dog panting breaths. There you go. Okay, now you can relax and breathe normally. Okay. And this is the part where you do the Darth Vader voice. How's it feel?
It feels good.
All right. So now we're sending that same signal, and we're going to test her again.
Okay, but can we look at that machine you were using for a second so that everyone can see what it looks like that was massaging her back?
It's just it's called a percussor, and it has different speeds, and it's a little roller, and it goes along the spinal column, and it's stimulating those Chinese acupuncture points using acupressure. And so we're strengthening the internal organ systems with that stimulation on those acupuncture points.
Great.
So now that signal of dust is going to be associated by her nervous system as something strengthening. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's test her now and see if she's weak or strong. Okay, Lena, ready? 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, so that's just a small portion of what we would do with this treatment. Then we would go in and look at individual types of dust, like volcano dust, clay dust, wood dust, plaster dust, lots of different dusts. And then we also go all the way down to the molecular and cellular level to treat these things. We would also look at her own organ systems that are affected by this dust allergy and treat them individually as well. So we'd be looking at lungs and heart and stomach and spleen, small intestine, all of those things. It takes about 45 minutes to do a whole treatment, and we can only do one family, if you will, at a time. So we wouldn't treat foods at the same time we were treating an airborne. Right. We can also treat for things of different stimuli, like barometric pressure or sunlight exposure. Some people get migraine headaches if they experience those things, and we can desensitize your nervous system to those things as well. So it's a wonderful system. I treated my own son for test anxiety.
Oh, that's really, can we even work with that?
Yes, we have an emotional component to it as well.
So now, what she has, the cup that she has on her wrist, you're emitting something into it through the computer, and is this a vibrational frequency, or what kind of frequency?
It's a digital signal. So the company in Australia that developed this software isolated the digital signals that correspond to all those different allergens and stimuli.
Well, how fascinating.
It's a wonderful thing. I'm so happy to be able to help so many people.
Oh, yeah, we look forward to seeing in the long run how Lena feels about this. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Mahalo.
We've had a chance to briefly explore and familiarize ourselves with many of the fascinating people and products here at the Wellness Expo. Now we're going to experience several of the keynote speakers in a special setting, giving us deeper insight into who they are and their dreams. We're with Shar Ravello, the founder of Inspiration Journal and Inspiration Journal Wellness Expo. The journal has been here for 6 years, and now the Wellness Expo has been happening for 5 years. And we're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in starting the journal? That was a big thing to do.
It was. It was a message that came to me and said, do this. And I didn't know what I was doing. I've not written anything ever before, published anything ever before. Being a personal trainer, I knew a lot about health and wellness, and I knew that I wanted more people to get well. Well, actually move their bodies and get moving, because when you move your body, then you really start tapping into who you are and what you want to do. So a friend of mine, Cindy Jones, brought a magazine from Michigan to my home, and I saw it, and it was one of those things like, oh, I don't want to read that. But I thought, oh, I better read it just so I can thank her for it. And it was called the Healing Garden Journal from Michigan. Well, lo and behold, Taj, after about 4 or 5 stories, my eyes were tearing. I felt so empowered by what I read that I felt we need something like this on Kauai. So I emailed the publisher of the magazine and said, will you mentor me? And he emailed back and said, by all means, be happy to. So with his help, Jan and Brett over in Michigan, they've helped me get started.
And how did you come up with the name?
Oh, that was a brainstorm. That was a brainstorm.
That was an inspiration.
And that was really far-fetched. It was really far-fetched. I had like mindfulness and, you know, just all these other trendy names out there. And I thought, you know what? This magazine is to inspire. And when I looked up inspiration, and inspire is to come from breath and spirit. I'm like, perfect. Being a body mover, not a body worker, but a body mover. Yeah, it just seemed the perfect title.
And perfect for Hawaii, because aloha is all about the breath.
Right.
So it's perfect.
Right.
And then how did you roll into doing this? Because this is a big production, doing a wellness expo with hundreds of people as vendors, and all the people coming in and all the advertising.
Yeah, it's an immense project. And I started by being invited by these people, these organizers who do Mind, Body, Spirit Expo in Honolulu, and they actually do 65 expos a year, and they since then are international. So I hope to participate in that with them. So they invited me to come over because we were the magazine in Honolulu that could help promote their event. So I'm like, by all means, we'll be right there. So a few of my staff went with me, Francesco, who is just such a great friend. I said, do you want to go do this? He's like, yeah, let's go. So he went to teach Qigong, and I went to teach health and wellness, and we loved it so much. We said, let's do this for Kauai.
Did you ever have any idea it would end up being like it is now?
No clue. No clue. And that's the whole beauty about this journey with this magazine is I'm just clueless. Clueless to the logical part of it. Yeah.
You're just listening to what your guidance is.
Yeah, very in tune to being driven. I'm so driven. People think I'm nuts. And I just say it's just my time. You know, I have the energy, physically well, I have the time, I have the support, my family's awesome. It's just time. It's just time.
Well, and you're supporting so many people who would never do this. So many different healers and facilitators, therapists, who would maybe stay in their little world and not really come out, or who on Kauai need to come out and had no other forum before this. And the networking that happens here, and you know what you do in your magazine touches people in so many places, because I've done it before. And the people that I met that came from Oahu and that came from San Francisco that were here visiting, that I still have client relationships with, or friendships.
That is so
with,
cool.
Yeah, it's been
Thank you.
really, really wonderful. Even from 2 years ago, I have a client in San Francisco that I see every time I'm there.
Oh my gosh.
And that was because of this. It never would have happened. They never would have found me, because I didn't advertise, except in your magazine.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taj.
Yeah.
And you participated in the Expo. I don't know if you were in our first one, but for sure the second, third, and fourth,
Yes, the last
you had
three.
your little spot, which I could just count on. Taj is going to be there and create such a beautiful space for everyone coming through that part of the Expo, so thank you.
Well, I just think it's a gift that what you've done. So now can you tell us a little bit about the Health and Wellness Association as well?
I'd be so happy to. I'm really proud of the association and how everyone has come forward this year to volunteer, take on parts of the Expo that normally I hold to myself, just me and my little staff. And this year I said, no, I can't do it myself, which is a growing in itself, right? To trust and let go. With Deepak being such a huge speaker, the intensity meets who he is. The intensity as far as the vendors who are here, the quality, the caliber, what they expect, what they're used to. And we're just ready to rise to the occasion. So by me letting go and saying, come on guys, this is not for me.
Well, getting Deepak Chopra in the first place, how did that even occur? I mean, that's really, that's a milestone. You had Wayne Dyer last year, which was amazing.
Right. We had Wayne Dyer and then Fred Allen Wolf, and I've always wanted Deepak Chopra because I feel that he is the, what's that called?
Pinnacle?
He's there. And he was one of my first teachers. Like, I love his book, Seven Laws of Spirituality. And I always give that to my girlfriends, you know, and new friends. I'm like, here, just read this, read this. So to have him come is immense. We've been trying for 2 years now, 2 years before this one. And I just wasn't together enough. I wasn't mature enough. There's a maturity involved here. There's a sense of understanding who I am, who he is, who the community is, and what we can do together, and letting go and trusting. So I went through a huge, huge trusting issue, however you want to put that. And it was some of the vendors that came here, some of the exhibitors and speakers that were here last year that helped me go through what I had to go through so I can do this year.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And everyone together is just working to raise the conscious level and raise the awareness for freedom.
Yeah, especially on Kauai. And it extends from here. It's like that rock that you throw into the pool and the waves ripple out. And so the love that comes from this island and the consciousness expands out and touches the mainland and other communities. And you hear about it a lot when you go to the mainland, about what people feel about Kauai. And it comes from somewhere. It's not just the nature, it's the people. Excuse me, and you've touched a lot of people with the work that you're doing.
Thanks, Taj, because I don't think about that. See, I don't think about the result. I'm so into the moment and what I'm doing right now and how can I serve better.
Right.
So I really, when I start thinking ahead, I get really anxious, and that's what kept me from getting Deepak. I was so nervous. I'm like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that.